Okay, so Beatles for Sale came out 60 years ago, and in America they broke it up into two albums. So in November, near the end of November in 1964, Beatles 65 came out. So let's go through what's on here. Well, it starts off with no reply, and then I'm a loser, and then babies in black, and then John singing rock and roll music, and Paul singing I'll follow the sun, and then John's Mr. Moonlight. And that's the end of side one. Side two starts off with Ringo singing Honey Don't, and then I'll Be Back. Then a song from the single, this is the B side of the single, She's a Woman. And then that's followed by the other side of that single, the A side, I Feel Fine. And finally it ends with George Harrison's cover of Carl Perkins' song, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Now, I'll show you the other side too. So, in preparation for this, I listened to every version of the single I could. So I listened, for I Feel Fine, I listened to the mono version of the US albums, and then the US album stereo version. And I also had it on Past Masters, and the Red album had a 2023 version of I Feel Fine. And I will have to say, the stereo versions each got better. The Past Masters version sounded better than the US albums version, and the 2003 version sounded better than the Past Masters version, but I liked the mono version better. The sound of the guitar is better on the mono version. I have a preference towards stereo, but in this case I like the mono better. Now, for the B-side, She's a Woman, She's a Woman, I had the mono version of the US album, the stereo version of the US album, and the Past Masters version. And with that, the stereo version sounded better. Each version, more recent, sounded better. So the Past Masters is the best version I've got of this. And as it turns out, that song was on the British version of the Beatles' Rarities, because they didn't put singles on the albums. Anyway, I Feel Fine, I feel like it's the very start of the change that would happen over the next 2 years, culminating in Sgt. Pepper. I don't feel like the transition from Revolver to Sgt. Pepper was that big. It was a very slow, gradual process. And this is the very beginning of it. But the other half of Beatles for Sale is not here. They had to wait 6 months to get that in America. But the US album CD, it has both the mono first and then the stereo version of all the songs, and it's pretty good, worth listening to. So check it out.